I don't have it that much because I've learned to tell myself no and to stop whenever I start getting anxious. So whenever I'm like worried that something isn't gonna go like good or whatever, I'm gonna I'll be self-aware about it. I'll be like, oh no, stop it. Things will be fine. Stop worrying. It's all it's gonna do is make things worse. And that's the thing about anxiety. It's like it can be your own downfall.
I've had like really bad anxiety dreams because like I can identify when I have a dream relating to something that's going on in my life, and it's usually something bad, and you wake up and you're like, oh no, what the fuck was that? That was horrible. Like, it's like shit like that happens. And it's, I guess for me, it does come up in my dreams quite a bit if I'm really anxious about something for an extended period of time. But it's also just in like my everyday life.
I was with one of my best friends. You know him. We were talking about him earlier. And I was freaking out about something. And for a solid 2 hours, I could not stop speaking. Like, I was spinning in a circle, and I was rapidly talking. Like, no stop. And, for me, I don't know if that's a panic attack. I don't know what that is. But it's like, it's interesting for me because I start freaking out, then I just start talking. And I just say it all out loud. And everyone in the room is like, oh, what is going on? Because like they don't expect that of me. Like I start doing some like equations of what's going to happen, like real time. And it's,
I thought you were about to say like math equations.
No,
like sorry.
It's fine. It's like I would say, okay, so this is probably gonna happen because of this, and then blah, 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 blah. I would speak very, very fast. Barely anyone would be able to follow. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you've experienced me. Like I've done the same thing. Like I've like completely gone into like instead of being like really anxious, it's like going into manic anxiety. And you've seen me like run around in circles rambling because I'm like going insane. Not like for a lack of a better term. It's like my mind, it's like you can't ground yourself and you're like, what do I do? You can't, like there is nothing to do, but you want there to be something to like fix what is going on. And that happens. Oh no. That happens more often than not for me, which sucks.
When it comes to like anxiety, it's something that can really like destroy good things. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Yeah.
There have been you know that one person that you don't like that I'll call S? That I'm friends with right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
The main reason why we had that whole thing and they didn't like me for a good bit is because they were so anxious. That came from a place of anxiety, which is why they were acting so irrational. And now I understand that makes sense, you know. They were freaking out and they couldn't really think straight, and so they made some very questionable decisions because they were anxious and they didn't know what to do.
I'm quite aware.
And that's like a big thing with especially with like friendships and just relationships in general. Whenever you start getting anxious and you start like thinking about things, you start internalizing them, and then you start kind of believing them, and then it gets even worse, and it's just a whole cycle.
It's like a never ending. It's like a snowball effect. Just it doesn't
Yeah.
end until somebody gets you to snap out of it, or until you like start crying and can't think about anything. My anxiety, like, I've always been a very, I guess, self-sufficient person, and when, like, over time, if I meet someone and I start to like talk to them a lot, and I guess rely on them in not like an overbearing way, but in like a, oh, we're friends now kind of way, and they like stop talking to me, that like, it's like the overthinking part. That's another part.
Yeah.
Oh my god, go away. That's like another huge part of anxiety. It's just like you keep overthinking to the point where you're like, this happened because of me, even if it's something that is completely unrelated to you. It really sucks.
And when it comes to, like, let's say you're in a relationship, the worst thing ever is if your partner cannot help you, like reassure you with that, because if you're anxious about something, right? Let's say you accidentally knocked over your partner's slice of toast and it fell butter side on the floor.
Did you knock over someone's slice of toast? Have you not told me about this?
No, that never happened. Random scenario, right?
Okay.
Let's say that happened, and you start getting anxious that they're gonna get upset with you, right? The best thing that your partner could do in that instance is be like, it's okay, you're fine, I can just make another piece of toast, rather than what some people do, which is be like, why did you do that? Why did you knock my toast over?
Yeah. That's like a thing for me, a thing that makes me like extremely anxious, like to the point where I'm panicking, is people yelling at me, or listening to people that I care about yell like at each other. That is like, that completely sets me off, and I'm like, I cannot handle this. It is like, I guess, again, for a lack of a better term, it's like terrifying to me, which puts me into a panic. And I'm the kind of person who tries to help fix everything, and when I can't help fix something, then I get anxious, and I'm like, why can't I fix this? Why can't I help? And that's it. It only gets worse from there. Like it only just gets worse. I think it was about a year ago, I was diagnosed by my therapist with generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD. GAD. But if you don't have ways to help yourself feel, if you can't figure out ways to not feel as anxious, or to help yourself not be as anxious, if you can't find those ways, then it's not going to get any better. And you usually have to work with other people to figure out those ways, and to realize, oh, it's not gonna always be like this. I'm not gonna always feel this horrible.
Yeah.
And that, I guess for me, it took me a really long time to actually realize that. Because I used to, like, not be able to go out in public without panicking. Like, I went to the store with my mom once, and I completely had a full-blown panic attack, and I had to go sit in the car for, like, half an hour. Because I just could not do it. And that's towards, I guess, the beginning of when everything had started for me. So I didn't really have ways to help myself calm down. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I made, not looking into different ways to help myself early on. But yeah, over time, I guess I developed different ideas of how to fix.
It's like, for me, It's like a mix of making music, doing some kind of work, um, or like telling myself, no, stop it. Right? The no, stop it doesn't really work very well if it's like a mild thing, like I forgot something and I need to do it by the end of the day or something, then me saying no, stop will work for that. But if it's like a big thing with, like, let's say a friend, it's not gonna work at all. It's I'm gonna continue worrying about it, so I'm gonna have to do some kind of music thing or just blast music to the point where I can't hear my thoughts. You know, it's probably why in one ear I can't really hear as well as I can in the other. Because
This is why I tell you that you need to lower everything you listen to. You are going deaf, mate. Oh my god.
yeah, that is a thing. I have noticed it. Especially when I'm making music, I can only hear, like, I think on the right side, I can't hear as well as I can on the left side or something. So all of my music, I don't really know if it's like made well because I can only hear certain things at a certain volume. But like with my anxiety, it's like I would internalize it and keep it forever.
Yeah,
Like
I did that too.
there's like a big thing over time anyway that I learned is that I need to stop doing that, because if I bring on those same anxieties about some other person to another person, it's not going to help. You know, it's going to end up just hurting me and the other person. And then they're going to be confused on why I'm acting that way. It's just like, I need to stop doing that. And it's gonna take a while to figure out how to stop doing that.
Well, so this summer, I play volleyball, and
Yeah.
I had paid, like, my parents paid like a shit ton of money for me to go to this camp, and it was like, it's at the high school I go to, and there were a bunch of people. Like, it was a room full of like a solid 200 girls that I didn't know. Like, I knew one of them. I knew one person. The first day that the camp, like the first day of the camp, because there were 2 weeks of it, the first day of the camp, I could not go inside. I was so anxious and I was like having a panic attack. And I was with my mom, thankfully. She helped a lot. But
Yeah.
I could not go into that building because of how nervous I was. And I tried thinking, what am I nervous about? What am I anxious about? What is there to be anxious about? And I couldn't. Usually in a moment like that, it's pretty hard to identify what exactly it is. And that's what happened in that moment. And I still haven't been able to figure out what exactly it was. It was probably the amount of people that I didn't know. Because
Yeah.
I do get really nervous in huge groups of people. But yeah, I sat in my mom's car with her for like an hour, and we, like, they had the doors open because it was pretty hot, and it gets really hot in the it's the field house. That's where they was being held. It gets really
Yeah.
hot in there, so they had all the doors open, and you could see everyone inside. And I was like, I can't do it. And eventually, my mom, she just took me home. I then went the next day, and I was really, really, really anxious. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I did it, and it was like the best thing ever. I had so much fun, and it was honestly like a really good experience. And after the fact, I was like, shit, I'm sad that I was so anxious that I couldn't go inside on the first day.